Hello, in this video we will discuss about the action of nicotine. So this is the nervous system lesson we will discuss. So here is a person which that is consuming the cigarette, and this is the damaging their lung. So here is a smoking cigarette which that is affect the higher brain cortex. In this way the higher brain cortex which basically stimulate the cortisol hormone during the initial period of the smoking. It means the initial smoker. So in this way the nerves which that is contain a nicotine receptor which that is mimic the acetylcholine neurotransmitter. In this way it is used for the postsynaptic neuron to bind with the nicotine receptor with the nicotine to stimulate the muscle contraction, etc., of the digestive system. So the neurotransmitter can be dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine. So the acetylcholine is the initial and increase the sympathetic nervous system during the initial consumption of the cigarette for smoking. So in this way here is the basically the sympathetic nervous system, which that is a nervous system contains sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is later on will be developed, which that is basically sympathetic is the fight and flight response, and it is create the boring, depression, desire for more nicotine, for again the parasympathetic nervous system stimulation, because the parasympathetic nervous system quick time at consumption after the smoking will be used again and again. So the smooth muscle contraction and blood flow better, and the pleasant behavior will be created. In this way, the muscle contraction will lead to digestion. So the depend to the nicotine for digestion is adaptation. So in this way, the adaptation will be occur. So after the passage of time during the smoking, basically adaptation is known as the nicotine adaptation. In this way, the nicotine receptor will be increased. In this way, the nicotine receptor when increase, so the nicotine consumption require more and more. So that is known as the chain smoker, because the desire of the nicotine will be more and more again after again the smoking. So in this way here is the nicotine receptor, which that is the initial will release the neurotransmitter, will bind with the heart receptor with with the acetylcholine receptor due to the nerve ending will stimulate the muscle contraction of the heart, will lead to increase the more contraction, high blood pressure, and increase the sympathetic nervous system, will lead to vomiting. In this way, this is the initial time for the smoking. For example, the first time of the smoking will lead to increase the sympathetic nervous system, and the more activation of the sympathetic nervous system will lead to vomiting due to the higher brain cortex sensation. So the higher brain cortex of the nervous system will sense the nicotine constriction. After the sensing of the nicotine constriction due to the less amount of the nicotine receptor will lead to antiperistaltic movement, will lead to vomiting. So in this way the initial time will lead to discomfort, while the passage of time will increase the nicotine receptor. After the increasing of the nicotine receptor will lead to nicotine adaptation. In this way the desire of the nicotine will be more for muscle contraction, smooth muscle contraction. In this way the smooth muscle contraction will lead to digestion of the food. So the dependent behavior for the digestion of food due to the nicotine is important, and this is the passage of time will create this adaptation. So here is the increase of the nicotine receptor will lead to adaptation of the nicotine. In the passage of time, the nicotine resistance will be created. In this way, here is the first of all we will discuss about the digestion. So the nicotine receptor bind with the smooth muscle for the neurotransmitter stimulation with the cortisol hormone, or on the other hand the parasympathetic nervous system activate to release the dopamine, and the muscle contraction will begin due to the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. In this way, the adaptation of nicotine for contraction, relaxation of the stomach, and digestion, relaxation, and again desire and chain smoking will be occur. In this way, the chain smoker will decrease the nicotine receptor due to the nicotine resistance. So this is known as the nicotine receptor due to the damage of the nicotine, due to the excessive use of the nicotine. So excessive use of the nicotine will decrease the nicotine receptor, will lead to increase the nicotine into the blood, and in this way we will discuss due to the chain smoking will increase the blood nicotine, so the no more stimulation and more desire for smoking due to the nicotine resistance, like insulin resistance. So in this way, here is the more desire, more smoking, and more lungs damage will be, and cancer, diabetes, and hypernicotinemia will be occur. So here is the passive smoker. That was the active smoker, but the passive smoker mean the beside the person which that is get the smoke from the other person, active smoker, to get and lead the lung absorb inhalation of the smoke into the lungs. So here is the more desire, more smoking, and more lungs damage, and lead to cancer, diabetes, hypernicotinemia, and in blood. So in this way, the passive smoker will also affect by this, and in this way, the receptor will bind with the nicotine a little bit, which that can basically the chain smoker can damage a lung, alveolar sac, and decrease the surfactants and toxin deposition, and the breathe problem can be occur. And in this way, the discomfortable for breathing. On the other hand, important thing is that the nicotine will receive the passive smoker, so the nerve stimulation will lead to antiperistalsis and lead to vomiting in each time, in every time for the inhalation of the smoke, so the lead to vomiting, and in this way the vomiting will be occur due to the more and more. So remember about that. In the way of the nicotine adaptation will not lead to vomiting, but due to the nicotine adaptation and the adaptation for the smooth muscle contraction. So if we will discuss about the quit smoking, so the quit smoking mechanism for the nicotine gum, nicotine patches, or coffee use. Coffee can decrease the nicotine consumption due to the coffees also contain a catecholamine, which that is stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. So in this way, the sympathetic nervous system is the alternate for the nicotine. And in this way, here is I am drawing the graph for understanding the nicotine quitting with the passage of time. So the desire we will discuss first is a vertical, and the horizontal shows the time, passage of time. So the decrease of the nicotine and recovery will be occur due to the lungs will recover and other part of the body will recover. And on the other hand, the nicotine receptor will be recovered and the coffee adaptation will be occur. So this was the action of nicotine related to the behavior of the human. This is the psychological lesson of the nervous system. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe.